we just explain to them that...
Explain what? That we meant well? Gee, officer, we're sorry. We didn't mean to piss off the gang. We just wanted to rob the grocery store.
Okay, I'm just trying not to die, okay?
Hey Camilo, congrats on the 11-second club win. I'm Brendan Gottlieb with Animation Mentor. A little bit about myself. I work at Disney Animation. I've worked on movies like Moana, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Frozen 2, Raya, and lately Encanto. Let's get into your critique for this animation. First off, looks fantastic. Really, really great job. Really solid win for the competition here. I love it. You have really solid timing and spacing, really snappy, really entertaining. So you did some really great work here. Let's watch it all the way through, and let's dive into the critique.
If we just explain to them that...
Explain what? That we meant well? Gee, officer, we're sorry. We didn't mean to piss off the gang. We just wanted to rob the grocery store.
Okay, I'm just trying not to die, okay?
Awesome stuff, dude. I love it. Yeah, so like I said, the timing, spacing here is just really great. Like, I love this kind of stuff where, you know, you really push it, hands are up here, and then boom, they just shoot out really far, really fast. But then you're overshooting and going around in a circle a little bit, so you're softening it after that snappy frame. And even through here, like, I love how one part of the body is starting to move while the other part is, this part, the head is still, yet the hips are starting to move. It's really great, and the head kind of like lags behind and snaps a few frames after. And you're getting there in just like 1, 2, 3 frames, you know, just really fast from pose to pose, which is really awesome. And then you're holding, you're keeping this style consistent throughout, which is great.
Okay, I'm just trying...
So really good stuff. I think what could use some improvement is your poses. I'd like to push these poses a bit further. You know, poses can always be pushed a little bit, but I think we can push these in quite a dramatic way to also match the style that you're going for. Like, your timing and your spacing is so pushed, which is awesome. I'd love to push these poses along with that. And then just a couple of things on like shape change with the rig as you go from one pose to another really fast. We're also going to talk a little bit about that. So just to start out, with this character up against the wall like this, we can definitely push this pose where I'd love to see her a bit more on edge and really looking to see, like, is anyone coming? Are we clear? And right now, I mean, technically it looks like she's kind of just looking at the wall and not past the wall and not out into the street. So I think what we can do to solve that and to push this pose is just really, you know, get her head over here. You know, you could, yeah, get this line of action going like this, and then the legs can be, you know, pretty similar to what you have. Actually, let's push that, you know, something like that, and then, you know, these shoulders can be up, and then this arm can kind of be similar to what you have, and then maybe this one is just out against that wall. You know, getting this line of action in this direction could be really nice, and then it would also get her feeling like she is really looking out into the street. And you have this kind of movement in her body where it kind of goes up and back, and we're not sure, it doesn't feel like her body is completely against the wall. Make sure it's just completely flat against the wall. In this angled pose now, this elbow looks a little bit broken, like it's pointing towards camera. So watch out for that. And then there's this movement here. Oh, sorry, one second. There's this movement you have in the character. She's kind of just going up and drifting a little bit. I think you can get a little bit more intentionality in there where you know, she's looking maybe out into the street, and then she could look. It's hard to draw with 2D arrows, but she kind of like she's looking out into the street, and then she can kind of like try to be peering to see what's behind this wall and down the street this way, and you can do just like one little sharp movement in the body where she's looking here, and then she's peering around to see around that wall on the other side of this doorway. You know, things like that could really make this moment, make her feel a lot more on edge here. Right now, she's not feeling on edge very much, especially this first pose. Her eyes are pretty relaxed, her face is pretty relaxed, and her body is, you know, a little bit on edge, but with this pose, we're going to push it a ton more. And then you can push that face and that facial animation and body movement to like really be like looking, okay, no one's coming. This is really awesome. And then I think with this pose, it's good. Again, I think we can push it where maybe you lower the hips a little bit, get kind of an arch in the back. And then really, sorry for the stick figures, that's all I can do. I'm not so much of a 2D guy, but that's all you get. And then really like push those arms like out, like almost like straight, like what? Instead of kind of bent and elbows in, like just get those arms like way out. Hands splayed, you know. You know, just really more of a feeling of intensity in that. Like having the elbows in is not very intense, but just like pushing those arms out like that we meant well. And also it could feel like she's gesturing this way, like to something that happened across the street. Like it'll just give the shot a little bit more context of everything else happening around it, where if you can really have a feeling of her, maybe the arms are a little bit more out, like this, where she's just trying to gesture to what happened across the street, and now they're hiding on this side of the street. That we meant well, like that, whatever happened there, like we're going to try to explain that. I think could definitely be a more help the shot tie into some context and can make it feel more grounded in context, and then also it could push the pose a lot more too. And then this is a great transition. Don't be afraid to like squash and stretch this head through here. I feel like you could almost let the head drag it, like the head and neck drag just a little bit more. But also, I think, yeah, you should definitely like start to stretch the head through here. So this is like a stretch pose, and then like really squash this head in here. Just it'll make the heads on these characters are always so big, and when they're moving really fast, if they're not squashing and stretching, they can feel really rigid. So just adding a little bit of squash and stretching here makes a big difference. Don't add too much. We don't want her head to feel like jelly, but just having it squash a little and stretch a little bit, and then have it stretch just a little bit here. I drew it way too stretched, but just, you know, like 0.05% stretch. Like an overshoot stretch, and then by frame 98 it's back to normal, just to give it a little bit of organic fleshy feeling in the head, so that it's not so rigid all the time. And then with this pose, this is a fun, cute pose. I love it. I think it can definitely be pushed if if you so desire, to something more like maybe like a cute head tilt. And then you could also just like get these elbows up like really high. Okay, not that high. Maybe like sorry, like one elbow up, the other one is down. It's coming in like this. And then she's kind of looking maybe like up and slightly screen right, and it's more like, oh gee officer, like you're getting this kind of like cute, like this is cute, but I think like, hey, like just a little bit cuter could go a long way. And then instead of just having her like straight up and down, you know, you could definitely the head is tilted slightly this way, then get some contrapposto of the chest tilting the other way. So it's like that, and then the chest could tilt like that, and then the hips, you tilt the hips like this. So this line in the jeans like that should really be tilted more like this, and then the line in the chest, you know, should be tilted the opposite direction, and then the head is tilted the opposite direction. And then you'll get this nice kind of curve in the spine here, and then this curve going like that, and then you get some just really nice flow through the body, which will make it feel like just really cute and fun. Especially hearing the dialogue, like she's really angry, but she's in this like super cutesy pose. Could be really entertaining and a lot of fun.
Sir, we're sorry, we didn't.
And then
We're sorry.
yeah, and then also going from that
We're sorry.
into this is perfect, because now everything switches. The head is now angled this direction, and then the chest is now, like, what you have here is really good. I didn't realize this before, but yeah, it's really good. Just do the opposite here, and then those elbows up, like, gee, officer, and then go into that other pose where everything switches. Head, the Z tilts in the head, chest, and hips all switch, which is going to be really fun.
We didn't mean to piss off the gang. We just wanted to rob the grocery.
And then again, volume change in the head. You know, as the head goes from here and swoops down like that really fast, you want to make sure that in between of the head squashes, and then as it comes to the finish over here, stretches out and overshoots just a tiny bit. So this is your stretch frame. Still slightly stretched. Or this is your squash frame, still slightly squashed. And then this is the stretch frame here. And then by the end of the shot, it's back to normal. I did notice that if you just track the very edge of her hair, like the very front of the shape here, it goes out. It kind of like, if I draw it over here, it goes out, and then it kind of comes down and back, and then it shoots out again like that on the next frame. So this is the tracking of it, like here, here, and then out here. So it's kind of like this slight zigzag, like that. Just make sure, and like the previous frames, like over here. Just make sure you're doing a nice swoop and not zigzagging out and then back and then out again. Hopefully that's clear. It's just all about tracking like the very front part of her hair there on frame 191. Just make sure that's a little bit farther forward and not just straight down and slightly back.
Okay, I'm just trying not to die, okay?
Yeah, and then talking about this character here.
Piss off the gang. We just wanted.
I think she's a bit too neutral for too long.
Gee, officer, we're sorry. We didn't mean.
Like,
Sorry, we didn't mean to piss.
like when she says we didn't mean, you know, she's starting to get more and more sarcastic, this character, and I feel like this character can just start to react like, come on, like this, like you're just going overboard right now. And so those brows are gonna furrow around like 148. Just have those brows furrow just a little bit, kind of a frown happen just a little bit, just kind of a small take of just like, girl, you're disrespecting me. And then you can go into this, which is really nice. But she looks like really offended by what she's saying or upset. But I think you need to transition into that a little bit more, because you're just going from like neutral to like, you said what? But in the middle, around like 148, I think we can just go like 50% of the way and then all the way there by 180.
Okay, I'm just trying not to die, okay?
And then also, you have such snappy timing, just great timing throughout this whole thing. And then we get to this moment, frame 194 to like 206. It just feels like a very slow transition. If you're tracking the nose and the face, it just kind of slowly goes down and over. I feel like we could have her. I feel like you could have her just keep looking and holding that original pose at 194 all the way through 198, and then have her just quickly and very snappy transition into this pose. And then you can have like a slight head shake, like I'm just trying not to die, in this section around like 208, 209.
Just trying not to die, okay? I'm just trying not to die, okay?
Really good stuff, though.
Okay.
I think she freezes a little bit too hard at the end here.
Yeah, okay.
Like just keep her alive to the very end.
Yeah, okay.
258 through 264 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, she just gets a little bit too frozen at the end there. And also, it kind of feels like she's looking a little bit lower at 254 than she was at 245. So just like lift the eyes and the eyebrow and the eyelids just a little bit there. And then at the beginning here, you know, when another character interrupts, when a character interrupts some other character talking, I'd love to see that this character start to form the next word, so that it feels like they really did get interrupted. But right now, I just wanted to, let's see, explain to them that, like, what's the next word? Like, explain to them that what, you know, something like have that next word already starting to come out off her lips. Like her lips are starting to form that W shape if the next word is we, after explain to them that. But like then she wouldn't actually say it because she's getting interrupted. It almost feels like if the other character didn't interrupt, like she's just done talking. She wasn't going to say another word because the animation just kind of goes slowly to a closed mouth, very calmly, like nothing else was going to be said. So make sure that it just feels a little bit more like she's being interrupted.
Explain what? That we meant well? Gee, officer.
And then you don't want it there to be a big reaction here because our eyes do want to go over here. I think that's good. But something where maybe she blinks and like her eyes start to dart over, or maybe a little bit more up to this other character, and her brows start to furrow a little bit. don't move her body too much, just in the face, like get some sort of reaction of being interrupted by the other character.
Saying what? That we meant well? Gee, officer, we're sorry. We didn't mean to piss off the gang. We just wanted to rob the grocery
Okay,
store.
I'm just trying not to die, okay?
Really, really good stuff though. Nice work, Camilo. Yeah, again, I love the snappy timing and spacing. I think it's really, really nice. Like on a professional level, it's good stuff. Yeah, I'd love to see these poses pushed more. And then just that kind of managing that head shape through those really fast transitions is really important too. And I think those, just sprinkling those things in, could really add a lot to the shot. So nice work, Camilo. It's been a pleasure.